A dealership told Kevin he was getting the car at cost, $50 above invoice. The salesman even pulled out the numbers, slid them across the desk, and said, with a straight face, that they were practically giving it away. Kevin drove home in a brand new car, convinced he had won the negotiation. He hadn't. The dealership made over $3,100 on Kevin, and he never saw a single dollar of it. Not one. Now Kevin's coworker Marcus saw the car in the parking lot on Monday morning, walked right over, asked every question. Like that same weekend, Marcus went to the exact same dealership, asked for the exact same model, same trim, same color. Marcus paid $2,600 more. Same car, same dealership, same month. The difference wasn't the car, and it wasn't the dealership. It was 5 words Marcus said when he walked through the door. I'm Martin, and I'm an investment coach. I've spent years breaking down the hidden math behind the financial decisions most people make on autopilot. The ones that quietly cost you thousands without you ever realizing it. And this one, the car dealership game, is one of the most sophisticated financial traps the average person walks into voluntarily. Before I break all of this down for you, do me a favor. If you're new here, subscribe right now and hit the notification bell. I release videos like this every week. The kind of financial breakdowns they don't teach in school, and the industry definitely doesn't want you to see. And drop a comment below. Tell me what car you're thinking about buying. Or tell me if you've already been through one of these dealership rooms and felt something was off but couldn't explain what. I read every single one. Now, let's get into it. There are 14 hidden profit layers built into every single car sale. Most buyers never know about any of them, but the one that costs you the most money isn't on the sales floor. It's in a room you walk into after you think the negotiation is already over. I ran the numbers on all 14. Here's exactly what I found. Kevin was not an impulsive buyer. He'd been planning this purchase for months. He pulled up Edmunds, found the manufacturer's invoice price, the price the manufacturer charges the dealership for the car, and walked in knowing more than most buyers ever do. The sticker price in the car he wanted, $33,500. The manufacturer's invoice, $31,200. Kevin negotiated for over an hour, back and forth. The salesman did the whole routine, walked away twice, came back with a slightly better number, made every dollar feel like a personal sacrifice. So by the end, Kevin landed at $31,250, $50 above invoice. The salesman leaned back in his chair, sighed, and said they were basically doing Kevin a favor. Kevin drove home feeling like he'd cracked the code. And honestly, if the only profit layer was the visible one, the gap between what you pay and the invoice price, like he would have, $50 in gross profit is almost nothing. Like a dealership, can't keep the lights on for $50. But here's the thing I want you to understand. That $50 is the only layer you're allowed to see. It's the number on the surface. Underneath it, there are 13 more layers of profit, all invisible to you, all built into the structure of every single car sale, and all flowing quietly into the dealership's pockets the moment you sign your name. Let me walk you through them. The hidden front-end layers. The first one I always explain is the dealer holdback. This one shocks people every time. After the sale is complete, the manufacturer sends money back to the dealership. It's a private financial arrangement, a rebate of sorts, usually somewhere between 2% and 3% of the sticker price. On Kevin's car with a $33,500 sticker, a 2% holdback means the manufacturer sent the dealership an extra $670 after the sale closed. At 3%, that's $1,005. Kevin thinks the dealership made $50 on him. The holdback alone puts them at 13 to 20 times that, and we haven't even gotten to the interesting part yet. Then there's the dealer cash incentive if the manufacturer overproduced a certain model and needs to clear inventory. They pay the dealership a bonus to push that specific car over others. You will never know whether the car you're buying has one of these attached to it. That information doesn't exist on any consumer platform. Next is the volume bonus, sometimes called a stair-step incentive. The more cars a dealership sells, the bigger the bonus. Hit a certain tier and every car sold during that period earns an extra payout. This is why dealerships get noticeably more flexible at the end of the month and the end of the quarter. I want you to remember this. They're not being generous with you. They're chasing a volume threshold that could be worth tens of thousands of dollars across their entire inventory. After that, there are regional dealer-only rebates. If a specific region is underperforming, too much competition, a slow economy, seasonal dip, the manufacturer can quietly offer dealerships in that area additional money to move cars. You'd have no way of knowing this exists unless you worked there. And finally, on the front end, there's floor plan assistance. When a dealership receives a car from the manufacturer, they typically financed it. Like that financing has interest. Floor plan assistance means the manufacturer helps cover a portion of that interest cost. Another hidden subsidy that pulls the dealership's true cost well below the invoice price you looked up online. There are also back-end incentive programs tied to customer satisfaction scores, brand compliance metrics, and service quality ratings. These aren't tied to individual sales, but they represent another steady flow of money from manufacturer to dealership that no consumer report will ever show you. Now, here's what I always tell my clients when I walk them through this. Even if you could somehow calculate the exact value of every single one of these hidden layers and factor them into your negotiation, that's still not where the real money is made. The real money is made in a room you haven't walked into yet. The real numbers, before I take you into that room, let me show you the data I'm working from. Not estimates, not guesses, actual financial statements. Some car dealerships aren't small family operations. They're publicly traded corporations. Companies like Lithium Motors, AutoNation, Penske Automotive. Because they have public investors, they're required to file detailed financial statements showing exactly how they make money. Yes, and those statements tell a very clear story. I've gone through these filings myself. The average gross profit on a new car, that's the price you pay minus the manufacturer's invoice, sits around $3,300. On used cars, it's closer to $2,900. Now, gross profit doesn't mean take-home profit. The dealership still has to pay rent, staff salaries, utilities, lot maintenance, all the operating costs that accountants call SG&A. Selling, general, and administrative expenses. Subtract all of that, and the net profit per car lands somewhere between $500 and $1,200, depending on which filings you look at. That's the number that makes Kevin feel like a genius. He negotiated to $50 above invoice. The average buyer is paying $3,300 above invoice. Kevin is thousands ahead of that average buyer on the sales floor, but the sales floor is not where the big money is made, and the dealership is not done with Kevin, not even close. The finance manager's office. Kevin thinks the negotiation is over. The price is locked. He shook hands. He's smiling. Then someone leads him down a short hallway into a smaller office to handle the paperwork. And I want you to pay close attention to what I'm about to tell you, because this is the part that most people never understand. This is the most profitable room in the entire dealership. And almost every buyer walks in with their guard completely down because they think the hard work is behind them. The price is set. What's left to negotiate? Everything. And the person sitting behind that desk is called the finance manager. But don't let the title fool you. The finance manager is not a clerk processing forms. They are the highest earning salesperson in the building. There's a reason they're in that back office instead of on the floor. That room is where the real transaction happens. From those same public financial statements I mentioned, here's what dealerships make in the finance manager's office. Somewhere between $2,000 and $2,900 per car, on top of whatever they made selling you the car itself. Let me show you exactly where that money comes from. First, the loan reserve. You finance through the dealership. The interest rate you're offered isn't just what the lender requires. The dealership marks it up. If the lender approves you at 4.5%, the dealership might tell you the rate is 5.5%. That extra percentage point is called the loan reserve. It's pure profit to the dealership, and it amounts to somewhere between $600 and $850 per car across their book of business. Next is the extended warranty. They hand you a glossy brochure with a long list of everything that's covered. It sounds thorough. What doesn't get highlighted is what's excluded. The profit margin on an extended warranty sits between $700 and $1,050. Then there's gap insurance. I actually think this one is worth understanding properly because unlike some of the other products, it's not worthless. If you finance a car and it gets totaled, your insurance company pays out what the car is currently worth, not what you still owe on the loan. If you're upside down on the loan, you'd be responsible for covering that gap yourself. Gap insurance handles that. If you're financing, it's a legitimate product to consider, but the profit margin built into the dealership's version is between $250 and $450. You can often get it cheaper through your own insurance provider. After that come the protection add-ons: wheel protection, paint sealant, interior fabric coating, floor mats. Each one feels small, $150 here, $200 there, but they stack. The total F&I profit from the finance office comes in between $1,900 and $2,150 per car. And then there's the paperwork itself. Every car sale generates a stack of documents, and built into that stack is another $700 to $850 in profit. The documentation fee, sometimes called a processing fee, is what the dealership charges you to type your information into their system and print it out. Profit on that alone runs $400 to $700. The electronic filing and registration markup adds another $40 to $90. The temporary tag, that paper you put in your rear window while you wait for your plates, another $20 to $50. Digital contracting, Notary fees, $10 to $30 each. None of these are enormous individually, but combine them and the paperwork alone adds $700 to $850 per car. Add the F&I products and the documentation charge together, and the finance manager's office generates between $2,700 and $3,000 per car before the service center even enters the picture. And we're not even going to get into that today. Kevin's full picture. Let me put Kevin's complete story together for you. He negotiated the price to $50 above invoice. He felt great walking out to his new car, but the dealership made $670 to $1,005 in holdback. Okay, hundreds more in cash incentives, volume bonuses, and regional rebates. And then somewhere between $2,700 and $3,000 in the finance manager's office on a deal where the salesman told Kevin they were losing money. That's the machine, and it ran on Kevin exactly the way it was designed to. Why announcing cash costs you more. Now let me tell you about Marcus. Same dealership, same car, same month as Kevin, but Marcus walked in and said 5 words that changed everything. So I'm paying cash, best price. Marcus thought that was power, cash on a table, no games, no financing, no monthly payment conversation, just a clean, simple deal. Here's what the dealership actually heard. I'm about to eliminate $2,000 to $2,900 of profit from your finance office. No loan reserve, no interest markup, no extended warranty upsell, no gap insurance. The entire FN profit layer, the most lucrative part of the transaction, just disappeared before the conversation even started. And so the dealership did the only logical thing it could. It made up the difference on the car price. The salesman held firmer. Every counteroffer came back smaller. The floor stayed higher, and Marcus, who thought he had leverage, ended up paying $2,600 more for the exact same car Kevin was already driving home in. I know how this sounds. We've all been told that cash is king. In almost every other financial transaction, it is. You pay a contractor in cash, they give you a discount. You pay a small business in cash, they might knock something off. Cash means no chargebacks, no waiting, no processing delays. But a car dealership is not a contractor. At a dealership, financing is a product. The loan isn't a cost to them. It is a profit center. When you remove it, you're not simplifying the deal. You're cutting off their most valuable revenue stream, and they adjust the price to compensate. Here's a detail I find fascinating. The finance office charges a fee for almost everything. Processing, registration markup, notary, temporary tags. The one fee most dealerships do not charge is a loan origination fee. Why? Because they want you to finance through them. The money isn't in the upfront charge. It's in the monthly payments and everything attached to them. Now, some people hear this and think, fine, I just won't tell them I'm paying cash. Like, I'll keep them guessing. Not that's actually a good instinct. But the dealership is ahead of you. They run a series of tests specifically designed to identify cash buyers, and most people go through all of them without realizing they're being evaluated. Test 1 happens before you meet a single salesperson. You walk in, the receptionist hands you a clipboard. Name, contact info, the model you're interested in, whether you plan to finance or pay cash, and whether you have a trade-in. It feels like a formality. It is not. That clipboard is the first filter. Test 2 happens about 2/3 through the process. They tell you they need to run a quick credit check to make sure you qualify. So it sounds routine, but at that point, They're not primarily checking your creditworthiness, they're confirming that you still intend to finance. It's a commitment check dressed up as a procedural step. Test 3, the salesperson quietly fills out a loan application before you ever reach the finance manager's office. By that point, you've confirmed your intent to finance 2 or 3 times without knowing it. If you write "not sure" on that clipboard, the dynamic shifts. But the further you move through the process without committing to financing, the less flexible the dealership becomes on the purchase price. Your negotiating leverage shrinks at every stage. Yes, the strategy. Here's the question I always get. If paying cash costs you more and the dealership is testing you at every step, what do you actually do? I've run the numbers on this. The strategy is simpler than most people expect. Step 1, walk in as a financing buyer. Don't mention cash at any point. This keeps you classified as a high-value customer, and that classification gives you maximum leverage on the purchase price. Step 2, at the clipboard stage, ask one specific question. What is the loan origination fee? They'll assume you're comparing their terms against your bank or credit union. What you're actually doing is confirming that there's no upfront fee you'd lose by paying off the loan early. Step 3, negotiate the purchase price as hard as you can. The dealership will be more flexible than they would be with a cash buyer because they expect to recover margin in the finance office. Use that expectation to your advantage. Step 4, in the finance office, negotiate everything. You now know the profit margins. Extended warranty, they're making $700 to $1,050 on it. Yeah, that's negotiable. Gap insurance, $250 to $450 in profit. Negotiable. You don't have to accept every product they put in front of you. And the ones you do want, you don't have to pay the first price they quote. Step 5, before you sign a single document, read the loan contract line by line. Every fee should appear under finance charges or loan fees. If it's not listed, it shouldn't be there. Most importantly, confirm there is no prepayment penalty. This is the critical piece. Without it, the whole strategy works. Or in step 6, sign the loan, drive home, and pay it off within the first few days. You financed the car, technically. It wasn't for long, but you did finance it, and you got the financing buyer's price. You avoided the cash buyer penalty, and you paid off the loan before any meaningful interest accumulated. The whole strategy hinges on 2 things: no origination fee and no prepayment penalty. If either of those exists, recalculate, run the actual numbers. In most cases, the savings on the purchase price still outweigh the cost, but always verify. That's the move. The takeaway, the sales floor feels like the battlefield. The back and forth, the tension, the "let me check with my manager" routine. It's designed to feel like that's where the real negotiation happens. It's not. The finance manager's office is where the real money changes hands, and most buyers walk in there with their guard completely down, ready to sign, thinking the hard part is over. That's exactly what the dealership is counting on. Kevin didn't see it. He negotiated a genuinely strong price on the surface, and then gave most of that advantage back in the room behind the sales floor. Marcus saw even less. He announced cash, lost his leverage before the conversation even started, and paid $2,600 more for the same car his coworker was already driving. Now, you know every layer, every number, every test, and the exact 6-step strategy to flip the whole system in your favor. I'm Martin. This is what I do. I break down the hidden math behind the financial decisions you face every day so you stop losing money you didn't even know you were losing. If this video gave you something real, something you can actually use the next time you walk onto a dealer lot, do me one favor. Subscribe right now and hit that notification bell. Every week I release breakdowns exactly like this one, the financial mechanics behind the deals, contracts, and systems that quietly drain money from people who never knew they were being played. And leave a comment below. Hi. Have you been through a finance manager's office? Did something feel off but you couldn't explain what? Or are you getting ready to buy a car right now and want to know what to do? Tell me. I read every single comment, and sometimes those questions become the next video. The machine runs on buyers who don't know it exists. Now you know it exists.